Welcome to UCD Archives. My name is Brian Hanley and I was historian on the project The Finest Men Alive, examining the material in the archives relating to Irish Republican prisoners in the aftermath of the Easter Rising until the General Amnesty of June 1917. Among the issues that feature in the documents are numerous cases where prisoners protested against the conditions that they were held under. A lot of the time these protests involved refusing to remain silent, refusing to wear prison uniform, objecting to the various forms of prison work that they were subjected to. And in June 1917, just a few weeks before, in fact, the final release of prisoners, there was a major dispute involving the Republican inmates at Lewes Prison in Sussex. The prisoners there were led by Eamon de Valera, and among the Republicans was Harry Boland from Dublin. In order to try and end the protest, the prison authorities began to break up the prisoners, move them to other places of detention. When they tried to remove Harry Boland from Lewes, he protested vigorously. Even though he was held in handcuffs, he struggled with prison warders. And as he was leaving the prison, he threw a note on the ground. And this note he hoped would be picked up by somebody and sent back to Ireland. He addressed it to his mother, Kathleen Boland, who lived at Marino Crescent in Clontarf, and he threw the note on the ground. Remarkably, it was picked up by a passerby, and they did forward it on to Clontarf. Kathleen Boland took the note, which featured an outline of the reasons why the prisoners were protesting and demanding that they be treated as prisoners of war. She brought it to Michael Collins. He had it published as a leaflet, and the leaflet was read out then at a protest in Dublin in June 1917. Protest ended in a riot. A policeman called Inspector John Mills was struck by a hurley and subsequently died, the first policeman to be killed in Dublin since the Rising. And the issue of the prisoners' protest again received huge attention across Ireland. And ultimately, at the end of the month, Boland was among the last of the Republican prisoners in Britain who were finally freed.